Welcome to Stranger Things. TJ, the Slapdragon Watson here, is our host. And look at what he's showing us right off the bat. I'm going to show him right now. And this is JD here. I'm supporting the Monster Club. And the Monster Club is a bar I go to that does a lot of Warren and Erie posters around. And a lot of monster things. So I thought it'd be cool to wear their shirt. So this is Stranger Things. If you don't know, these are different things that we collect besides. Maybe it's a type of comic book that's a little bit out of the ordinary. If you don't know, we did the zoo version where we had animals. We've done original art. We've done statues. We've done Pieta covers. And now we're doing some oversized books. And what we mean by oversized are any of the books that would be like your Curtis Publishing, your Warren Publishing from the 60s and 70s, to your anything larger than that. I actually have a lot of what are called, like, they're not pulps, they're 70s indie books that were like convention. You'd buy them at conventions for like $5, had random people in it. You never knew. Some of them turned out to be good. Some of them turned out to be really good. The artwork's incredible. It's just different. But we're going to start showing some stuff. And I think a good way to start, of course, is have TJ take over for a little while because it's his show.
This is one of the most proud comic books I have. This was Scream #1 from Skywalker Publications from 1973.
Wow.
This is the only 9.6. There is nothing higher. This is the sole highest graded book.
Wow. Look at that, too. And if you're a Skelly cover, like TJ, we were always discussing other shows for Stranger Things, we have quite a few Skellies and stuff like that. Collectors out there. Skulls and Skellies was definitely one that's coming up. But a great macabre book right there. It even says it right there. Very good. High 9.6. Look at that.
Yeah, there's 3 horror titles that Skywalker put out with Scream, Nightmare, and Psycho. And this is Scream #1.
Nice. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to show something a little bit different. We'll show this one later, TJ and I. I'm going to do with an Erie book. And the reason why I'm showing this is a late run Erie. One that I found that didn't really fit the mold of a typical Erie, which is kind of where I got it. This is when it went complete sci-fi. And this is almost a completely sci-fi issue. I'm sorry about this glare on this camera. I'm trying to fix it, but we can never have a good set here. But this is in a bag, still a poly bag. I read this one, and I'm going to say that this is one of my really... It's kind of like a Star Wars adventure here, but it's 118, so it's like it's 1981. It's very Star Warsy. You can see the influence there, the laser sword and everything, being the lightsaber, and on fire, and the ship that he's carrying. It's just good stuff inside. It's a little bit adult, but it's kind of like I don't know, Connie Selica. So if you know who she was pretty hot. And Buck Rogers. It's the same. That's kind of who this is based on. But I do love these books, and when you find them, they're not too expensive, but the characters inside and the artwork are just unparalleled. I mean, it really is good. What do you think there, TJ?
These late runs I own that one, because I have that in a slab.
Nice.
And the risque ones were really, the more adult ones were the 1984 and 1994 series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was actually heavy metal-ish.
Yep. There's one I have of that. The cover, I think I have it here. I was going to show that one next. What do we have there? Doubleina, huh?
Yes, this is put out by Atlas Seaboard. This is their magazines are very hard to find in high grade. Issue #2 is harder to find than issue #1. And their other sister magazine in horror was Weird Tales of the Macabre. And #1 and 2. #2 again is the really, really hard one to find. That is nearly impossible in high grade. There's only 2 9.8s out there.
Wow. Doubleina was a character that I think did she start in comics or did she start in magazines?
Only in this magazine, only the 2 issues until the company went out of business. And this cover is actually repurposed. This was originally on Vampirella 111.
I was going to say, it looks somewhat familiar.
Yes, it was a Vampirella cover. And the only difference is the image was reversed on Vampirella.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So.
Nice. Image was reversed. There we go. Then the one I'm going to show next, TJ, you know this book. This is the Resurrection issue. This is what we're talking about. What gets risque. Vampire lust, sacrificial rites, The Dump Man, and Sex and Death. This is the later resurrection issue of Creepy. This actually wasn't really widely published from what I've gathered. Is that about right, TJ? Or
It's very low print. Why are you touching it? It was pressed.
I'm sorry. It's one of those things when you want to read these things, you just can't get enough.
That
and I do
thing
love
was
those.
already pressed.
I know, but I'll press it again. Look at this. Too many. This is one of those that if you, the reason why we show Stranger Things at night, this is some of the best stuff right here. And
That's
TJ's right.
That's a low print run. That's the Harris issue. That
Right, the Harris
previous issue was the last Warren, and that's the first Harris, first and only Harris.
Right, that's what it was. It was the only Harris. So there you go. And TJ does get mad when I play with my toys. So let me show what we got here. Ah, good book.
Another Warren magazine that's hard to find in high grade is the early issues of Famous Monsters of Filmland, because no one really kept these much back in the 70s and 60s. And in fact, a lot of people use them to clip the pictures out and make stuff with them. As a kid, I was guilty of that. But this is a 9.6 from 1966.
Wow. I see. This is something we don't get to do much. Is when I show a book of the same publisher. Sorry, of the same publisher right there. Different style of book. A little later on. This is my Monsters of Filmland. This is the first Darth Vader cover appearance on a magazine.
Mm-hmm. And the Star Wars ones are very popular, by the way.
Yeah. I have the other one here, which suffered a major accident. I don't know what year the accident was, but it was a result of a Dr. Pepper. And this is the other one. Yes. This is a little later one. I think this is, this was, well, actually, this was first. Technically, this is first. This is the first time he's actually on the cover. This is his first full cover. The one in here that's great is Star Wars Never Bores, and it's got one of the things it has in here is some great stories, and I just can't help it, by Warren Publishing honoring people, and some of the people that it's just ridiculous that you don't know who Warren worked with. It was everybody. They complimenting Frazetta and how they had the people that were talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind asked Jim Warren to be in the movie. Great stuff. So
is there anyone in the chat? Is there anyone watching?
About the chat now, I guess, right? Yeah, we have about 20 in the chat. Let me shout out the chat right now. Thanks for everybody for joining us here. Comic Man 80, first on 2 shows tonight. Chris Barrett, McNugget. Look at this. Comic Books NYC copy. Hello again. Ben Compton, good having you here. Good having you here, Chris Barrett. And we got Bear Island, good having you at Tailgaters. Good having everybody here. JP's Budget Collecting, Bob World, White Whale, good having Alec here, one of the Sons of the Dragon. JP's Budget Collecting, good having him. Keep going down the line. Bake the Snake, great having him here from the lovely Florida Keys. King of the Golden State, good having you here. Once again, let me make sure I get everybody. Comics for Thomas, hey, how are you? Good having you here. Mortal Biggie Shack, how we doing? Big shout outs to him. Putting on a lot of good shows every day. Discovery Bay, good having you here. Thank you very much for everything you do for the community as well. Yeah, we do have a big chat here.
Is anyone asking any questions?
I haven't seen a Vader on any cover when I was a kid. It was a must buy. Discovery Bay, I agreed with you. Unfortunately, I know that this is old enough to be that copy, and I don't know what it was. It's one of those that the stains were there. I've never got it cleaned or anything else like that, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I could find another one if I did, but I kept my Warren Monsters. I have a few other ones, but I figure I share my favorite villain right now. But I didn't get too many questions. Was there any other questions? Don't blame Dr. Pepper. It's never the doctor's fault. I agree with you, but I was probably sober at the time. Good stuff. Oh, there's another one. Is that The Curse of the Demon? It looks like a Gorgon.
Yeah. Yeah, this is Curse of the Demon cover from 1966, also number 38. Very hard one to find and decent grade. In fact, 8.0 is the best copy I've ever seen.
Wow. Look at that. So when we stick to the oversized, one of the items that came out was there was a second run, and this is I have to show it. It's okay. I'm gonna bring it here. This is another Star Wars, and this is Sienkiewicz. You know, uh, so we just love it. I
Yep.
mean, it's the Return of the Jedi. It's an oversized. It's actually fully covered on the inside, and the one of these I've had a few of these with the artwork, but when you find out who does the artwork inside, obviously I just met Howard Chaykin and I was really excited about that. But when you find out that it's Tom Palmer and it's Archie Goodwin and Ron Friends is inside, but the big one was the cover was a young Sienkiewicz, and look at that, it's a great job. So I throw it out there. First question here: what does it cost to slab this size? It is a magazine size. TJ, for 10% offers, I think I paid about 28 per. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right. It's
Yeah.
actually cheaper than doing a standard tier. It's
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few slabbed, mostly some signed ones. I am going to slab some of these magazines. I like to get a full run of magazines I want to send. So
Another nice thing though is that CGC is the only company that slabs magazines.
correct. You will not be able to get one from PGX for those of you that want to gamble. Uh,
Or the other one.
yeah, Baltimore. Um, so what are we showing next? Stealing at my heart with my vampire covers.
Yes.
So that's
This is the House of Hammer #1 for 1976. This is a British magazine, so they're very hard to find in high grade, and they have a lot of marvelous covers, all to do with Hammer movies, um, and most of the covers are pretty much painted, and they're really nice, especially the Raquel Welch cover.
Raquel Welch has a cover on there. We'll have to find that one.
Yes, that's from the 1 million years BC movie, I believe, with the dinosaurs.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
that's it. Yeah, Bake the Snake X. X. Did you pick up those Star Wars when you were a kid? The Return of the Jedi, yes. The other ones I bought later on in life, with exception of the Howard Chaykin little book I have. I'll have to show that it's not an oversized; it's an undersized. I didn't want Chaykin to sign it. I was going to bring it, but I know he doesn't like it too much. I really do like that cover, that Hammer cover. I'm a big vampire collector, so I do like that. I'm going to show something here that TJ knows, and it's near and dear to my heart. One of my arguments with people is that I love all the facets of Conan and his descendants. And one of my favorites, TJ knows, is Khazar. Khazar is one of those that Khazar, as he should be called, is. I've heard the term Paul Man Conan. I think they're a little different. He's truly fighting. This is not the Crimean time. This is the ancient worlds, and these are some great classic covers here of Khazar. And I think Joe Chusco did a few of these. Here's a Boris cover.
Yes.
Boris,
And I think Adams has a couple too that he did.
yeah, Neil definitely did a Khazar. Curtis, by the way, was Marble's version of Warren. Not Warren. Jim Warren had his own company forever, but
Yep.
these are some classic covers here. It's Khazar, showing some Khazar. Before I get into having to drink and all that, when I bring up the next guy.
I remember that DS wanted to seize a lot of Skywalds, so
Oh,
I got
sure.
some Skywalds.
Yeah, show some Skywalls. Give me
This is
2
a
minutes to figure out.
black cover, Nightmare #8 from 1972, 9.6. Very hard to get in high grade. And Nightmare, the quality was just as good as Warren, and just didn't have the distribution that Warren did. It very low print run.
That is really different. Wow. Let me bring this up here.
And a lot of the covers were done by artists that did Warren covers too.
Oh, some of the Warren guys. Speaking of Warren, so might as well show our vamps. This is my favorite cover of Vampirella. TJ, I remember buying this and showing this on the hunt. And I was gonna send it to TJ, but he showed me that when I said, "Hey, look what I found in great condition." He goes, I have a 9.2, and this is, by the way, 9.2 and Warren's are very good grades. I don't think you got. I don't think you're not going to get your 9.8s. Discovery Bay X TJ, do you have any low grade slabs? If you could Golden Age collector.
Oh yeah, my Golden Age stuff.
Yeah, most Golden Age. It's funny because I just picked up 4 Jungle books from an auction, and really early ones like 38 and ones I really wanted. But somebody asked me, "What these are about? What grade are these?" I said, "These are very good." He goes, "Really? I don't think they look that good." I'm like, "Very good is very good for Golden Age. Very good in modern is very poor."
Yeah.
So let's see.
In my collection, the Golden Age is any grade, and I got like 1.8s. It's
Yeah.
I don't care what the grade is. In Silver Age, it's everything except for one book. I have one 6.5. I have one 7.5. Everything else is 8.0 or higher. My Bronze Age is going to be 9.0 or higher. And Modern is going to be at least 9.2 or higher.
Nice.
Mostly 9.6 and higher, but
take it all in, everybody. So we talked about some Warren artists that kind of cross over, like Noram. I think he crossed over both sides, right?
yes.
Yeah, he was very much a Warren guy who ended up doing quite a bit of
He did a lot of Conan Savage Sword.
Yep, I was going to actually show one of the most underrated covers of that run. And this is definitely one TJ remembers. This is my favorite cover by him, and there's a reason why. It's just there's something about the girl that's faint down here. It's just the skulls around it and the way it just stands there. And by the way, these Savage Swords, these artwork on the inside is just absolutely insane. There's some of these I have one that I've had opened last week. I was finishing number 170. Here it is. This is another one. I was finishing it, and I just wanted to share the interiors. One of the things we don't say we have to slab everything, but some of these books you can slab.
What?
You don't have to slab everything, but if you want a book with a reader copy, if you want a book that if you ever want to get a reader copy of this Conan the Barbarian, I recommend any of these Savage Sword runs just because the artwork on the interior is top notch, and a lot of it is by guys that you know. There is a lot of John Buscema, but of course you're talking this era would have been what years? This is the 90s, so Falco would have taken over. So the OV, yeah, same people there, but a lot of John Buscema and a lot of the Savage Swords are really good. So let's show some Scream. Oh, is that a Christopher Lee sighting?
Yes, it is.
That right there, Christopher Lee, one of my favorite actors of all time.
And that's not a photograph. That's actually a painting.
Wow.
That is really a nice cover. And that's a 9.6, issue number 3 for 1973.
Nice.
I've never seen another slab of this book ever.
Oof. That's pretty impressive right there.
Skywald is really hard to. So many issues I need still, and they're just not there.
I was going to show one of the modern artists of today doing a book from what year would Savage Sword number 64? It's got to be 80s.
Probably 80.
81, 82, around that time. Yeah. Considering here, this is a guy who does a lot of moderns now called Jusco. And if you want to know what makes this an influence, is he does Silver Surfer for homages. It's what he's known for. He's done so many of them and this is a signature if you think about it very carefully. If I reverse these images, I think you'd see it. You think you see a Silver Surfer 4? TJ, what do you think? Do you think this is a true homage or reversed? A little stretch in it?
I think it's stretching it.
Anybody in that pose. But he did do the most recent Silver Surfer Black 4 in the variant cover there.
Oh, I love his art. I really do. Yeah.
It's really good. It's just very and Savage Sword, this was definitely a Buscema run, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why it's still in. It's there. I didn't. By the way, TJ, let me see this Scream over here.
There's another vampire for you.
I love this one.
That's issue number 10 for 74.
Ooh. And a lot of things people have to realize, a lot of reasons that the magazines were gorier or sexier or had more violence on them, because they didn't have to adhere to the comic code.
Nope. No
So,
comic code.
since there was no comic code, you can get away with a lot more stuff here than you could in the comics. So pre-code horror, a lot of it, with the term, things went from pulps to pre-code horrors to magazines very quickly. We're showing creepies now. This is my favorite part of the show.
What were you saying about 9.8 Warrens?
Yeah, 9.8 Warrens. Yeah, don't have one.
This is a 9.8 Frazetta cover. Yay.
Yeah, I don't have one of those. But I'm going to show a Frazetta cover with a cool story that'll lead into a cool run of books. But before I do that, let me get this one out. I'm going to show my creepies next. But so this one, that's a good one.
Yeah, this is from 1966.
What number?
Number 10.
10. The one before it, number 9,
which is low print.
Very low print and very hard to find. And yes, I have it out of its protectiveness. When I bought this for one reason, TJ, because I have to show what this is. This is 1966, correct? Number 9. Yes. Bernie Wrightson's first work in comics is from House of Mystery 179 from 1968, 69. Well, that's not entirely accurate, because the Creepy Fan Club used to publish drawings by one of their fans. And one of the fans of Fran Frazetta just so happened to drew a picture of his own dragging himself off to his own grave. And there he is, 1965, of Bernie Wrightson. Oh, TG. See, this is called the one-upper. I show that cover. He shows the slab 9.6. But I showed the first Bernie Wrightson.
Very nice.
This is one of my favorite. And that, by the way, that's a Frazetta too. And a classic Frazetta. Actually, was this which painting hit the 5 million mark? One of these, this one went for a lot. I know that in the most recent one.
That one went for a lot, yeah.
Yeah. So, TJ, and I see your Juice Go and raise you a 9.6 Juice Go.
Yeah, but the painting that actually just recently went for a lot of money by Frazetta was this one here. Let's see, where is it?
That's classic. That's the painting that just went for what, yes. 3.5?
Yeah.
Yep. That's Eerie 23. If you want to look up how hard Eerie 23, 24, 25, 26, 27 had some Frazetta, some Steranko, some of them one Steranko actually. I think I have it. I know I have it, but I don't know if I brought it out over here. Oh, it's over there. But I have to get up and get something there. But that's real good. I love that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we showed a lot of Eries last time, but there are some that stick out in everybody's mind. That creepy. The Erie I always like is the one. I'll show it here. This is one of my favorite Frazetta Eries. This is number 5. Again, these are just a lot of fun. So, this is one of my favorite things we like to do. Is we have a lot of the same interests, TJ and I. One of the things that I wanted to share before we went there is I have found something else. These are oversized. These are 5 pencers. These are Marvel Tales, or reprints of 3 issues of Marvel Comics that were for overseas in Ireland or the UK, but these were in Ireland. And
that's actually what comic books look like in England, is that kind of format. They don't look like our comics.
Right. These are paper, and I've grabbed a bunch of them. These are great condition for what year these are. These are not too far after, like these are, was it 1970, 172, some of these. But the difference, besides this is a Hulk versus Thor famous Defenders scene, and this actually doesn't reprint that battle. It starts off with the Fantastic Four of an Avengers storyline, first with Spider-Man in it. It's got the Avengers meet the Submariner. It reprints this is from 1973, but might as well show this on the inside. It's not colored, none of it. Only the covers were. So These are really hard. These are not hard to come by, but you get an extra bonus here. You get an X-Men 1. I mean, it's kind of cool what you see with the artwork. It's kind of like getting sketches, colored, except they'd never be colored this way. They never would have shaded Hulk gray and everything.
If you're gonna go after Captain Britain, the original series, that's what it's gonna look like.
Yep. If you try to find it, yep. Oh, there's a monsters. Oh, the Jerry Lewis. Oh, that's pretty tough to find. Talk to me, TJ.
This is one of the harder ones to find in high grade. This is from 1964, number 29. Now, 29 and below, if you ever get a raw copy, be very, very careful because the spines are very fragile. They will split in a heartbeat.
For anybody who collects magazines like we do or something like that, one of the things that does happen is some of the earlier stuff actually was glued in a way and then stapled, as opposed to, because I guess it was some kind of the way the shininess of the glossiness of the covers of these, but it was just one of those weird, crazy things. Something else I collect that before I get into that nightmare, because that's a story in its own right. I wanted to show TJ. These are from different years. So this is from the Comic Art Convention of 1978, with some names like Jeffrey Jones, Michael William Kaluta, Barry Windsor Smith, and Bernie Wrightson. So you're talking, this is a pretty good Comic Art Convention to hang out to right there if you want anything done. But the insides of these have articles. This is from 1978, the first Star Wars one, and a great article about a young Mr. Bernie Wrightson himself. And it's just a great, I collected some of these. I find some weird ones like this Baka magazine. I find these are like typewriter indie comics from the 70s. And they are somewhat illustrated. These are long reads, and they're crazy, but you never know who was in here. A few of these are Mike Kaluta. I have some crazy ones in here. But it is Moonraker was originally in here. Some of the James Bond stories are in here before they were films and these kind of books. I've heard Ian. So those are some of the convention ones there. Now, TJ, you got. Let's go over this one. Nice.
Merry Christmas.
Wait a minute. You said that every time you hang, is this count as a Christmas decoration in your house? Are you hanging? Are you hanging one in November?
No, I don't. I moved to the house with mistletoe though after Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's a good way to do it. Nice.
Yeah.
It's toxic too.
But this is another hard one to find. Number 23, 1975. Their Christmas issue. Now, Skywald is, if you didn't know, is one of the companies that brought the heat back from the Golden Age.
That's nice. Let's see here. I wanted to show a modern. Oh, that's what I wanted to see. The Psycho.
This is Psycho number 15 from 1973.
Nice book. So I'm going to show this from last time. Last time I showed these two. Some early creepies. This is creepy number 5 and creepy number 6. These are my favorite two Frazetta covers. I don't know, TJ, this is the only time I've ever seen Frazetta draw. This has been like copied a few times, but it's not that, I don't know why, but I think this is just ridiculously way too good. You know, I think this is one of Frazetta's best. And this look on this guy's face is just unreal. Of this era, of the creepies, you saw the Eries that I keep together. I keep 9, 10. You keep certain ones together. These two, to me, have belong together. These two, along with the Erie 5, are some of the best Frazettas, and then the other ones.
Well, I would put this in there.
Let me see. Here he goes. Yeah. Oh, that's one's the unicorn, right? Number 3. That's the hard one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of significance to that book, you know, in
And
Eerie World.
Eerie was their first horror magazine, followed by Creepy, and then Vampirella.
Yep.
Famous Monsters was the first, though.
Yeah, if you ever see the Eerie one is a whole yellow cover. It's classic. I don't know how to explain it. It's all the Universal and Everybody Monster just reading. You know, the pre-code horror world is in there. It's just great stuff. I have. There we go.
This was the issue of Vampirella where Vampirella actually became a major character in her own magazine instead of just a host. Number 8.
Wow.
It also was a little print.
Nice. Wow. Let's see. I had one of those Conans with the snake I wanted to show. This is somebody asked me about snake covers. Who they would talk about elephant covers and whatnot. He said snake covers. And he goes, "What do you think the best snake cover is?" I said, "Well, there's been debate on this one forever on this one, but it's asked me about a Savage Sword of Conan." And I said, I've always had a thing about it's just ridiculous,
Yeah.
No,
I might be wrong about that snake cover, but I think that's done by an artist called Dorian.
Yep, Dorian Chiato, yeah.
Who is Boris's son.
Yep. This was done by a teenager at the time.
Yep.
TJ and I have the same affinity for the same artist, so. Oh, sorry. Let's bring that back. Oh, there it is.
This is another Bill Sikovich's covers. He did a lot of magazine covers.
Oh, yeah. It's going to show another Juice Go. Nice. I'm going to show a few Juice Go covers here. The classic ones. And TJ, you know this one very well.
Yes.
Yeah. And Boris's son, I think, did this one too. This was like he did this when he was in high school.
That's Ernie Chan on that one.
Oh, Ernie Chan. Okay.
Yeah.
That's classic right there. And one of my favorite Savage Tales. This is a key, if you ask me. What do you think, TJ? I know people. What do you think? Do you think this is a key book? I think it is.
Why is it key?
I think it's just a classic. Well, maybe not a key.
Yeah, it's a classic cover. Yes. Yeah,
classic cover. Not really a key. Bellet. I think this is. Does Bellet first make her appearance in the Conan Savage Tales run? I don't know.
I think it's in Conan the Barbarian, the regular series.
Yeah. There we go. Good stuff. Right. We're not done with Barbarians yet, but we have a good Eerie coming. I'm 90% sure. There it is. Number 7, the black cover. Is that it?
Yep, that's number 7. Yep.
Now Eerie 6 we showed you was the bright colored dinosaur. Look at the way they followed up. So nice. Wow. That's ridiculously that you can get that in that high of a grade. Again, magazines are harder to grade. They very rarely do you see high. I mean, what TJ has has got to be one of the most. Is probably the most.
You still there?
Yep. I'm sorry about that. I'm learning how to move this thing around. Here are 2 more of the magazines I got. This is from 1974. The very XC rated magazines, but this is how I found in a few other ones. And some famous artists have been in here. I mean, you recognize some of the artwork. These are hard to come by, and these are very low print, but this is where you find some weird things, like some George R. Martin works, some early Jim Starlin stuff. This is Weird Bone 12. Basically, these small little publishing companies, they're literally like typeset, but you get some artwork in there. If you read the story, they're all fucked in the head. They're all messed up. There's some of these that are just, people are just ridiculous. But, and there's another one here. This actually has been used before. This actually became a well-known. This is known as the Escape. I got this for the elephant cover right there, and I was And headlights, I guess. But there is an elephant in there, I promise, somewhere in there. But this is one of those classic ones by Copen. The artwork in here, if you like, it's kind of like it gets a little violent. The Maiden of Ice and Steel. This is kind of like Game of Thronesy stuff, so it's pretty good. Anyway, those are those weird ones. I have one more of those to go. TJ looks like he's got a creepy.
This is a Ken Kelly cover. Ken Kelly was one of the Warren and Skywald's major cover artists.
Wow.
This one was also a little print. And do you want to see my favorite Josco cover?
Yes. Oh, heavy metal. Yep. Can't go wrong.
I love this cover.
Yeah. That is nice.
The snow, the tiger, everything.
And carpet matches. Great. Got another one here of a snake cover I went over, which this is a little different barbarian here. This is Kull the Barbarian. TJ, if you're familiar with Kull. So we went over Khazar, Conan, Kull. There's scrolls too and everything else. This has an old cool Red Sonja story in here. There's a few Red Sonja stories in here that I don't think she ever got her due in the oversized books. You know.
No. And
she never did.
There was only 3 issues of that Kull series.
Right.
I have all 3 in 9.8.
You do. I figured as much. It's a good book, though. I mean, just a good book.
And
this could be a 9.8, but no, it's not. Yours is a 9.8. This is a 9.6. You toss it, but I love the skull in the background. Can we show that again? I mean, these are some of the things that you just love about these books. So much more in depth than other ones. So let's add some fun there. Oh, Thrilling Adventures.
Yes, this is an Atlas Seaboard magazine from 1975. It has a Ernie Colon cover.
Oh, Ernie.
Yes,
Nice.
and this also the pedigree. This is a pedigree.
Nice.
Can you see who it's from?
You put it to the right. Oh, Don Rosa. Don Rosa collection. Slowly I turn, step by step, an inch by inch.
So he kept really good care of this magazine.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. He knows how. I mean, I was shopping with him on the one in Baltimore, and he's going through the Dells and everything else. And he came over and he recognized me. And we talked a little bit. He's like, "You're still going after those? What is that fiction house? That Joe Doolin?" He never knew who Joe Doolin was. It was great. Yeah. And then he's like, "You introduced me to a whole new guy, very Jack Kamen-esque." That's right. That was great. Don Rosa. Look at that.
Yeah. And Atlas Seaboard was a company that was only around for a year, and most of the magazines were just 2 issues.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there was. Also, this is a very hard book to find in high grade because of the black cover.
Oh, the Vampire Tale. There was one
number 1. Yeah.
There was one I saw that had the guys from Dark Shadows on it. That I put in the trailer video for this. I thought you had that one. It had Peter Cushing on one side, and
that's a Monsters of the Movies.
Right? Yeah, that's a very hard one to find.
Yes, I have a raw copy of that one somewhere.
Nice.
It might be going out in the mail though. Do you have it?
No. I was talking to somebody about it. That I said it's really hard to find with the Peter Cushing and the guy from who played Dark Shadows.
Yeah, Barnabas Collins. Yeah.
Yep, the original Barnabas Collins.
Yep.
Nice.
But this is a very hard book to find in the high grade.
Look at that. It's ridiculous. Such a cool thing. Very cool. So one of my favorite...
one thing I want to point out, though, for people that are buying raw magazines to get them graded, this X here, if you see this on one of the magazines, does not hit the grade.
Yeah.
This is considered a manufacturer defect because the distributors do this when they send them back.
Yeah, I have a few with that on it. A lot of actually, a few of my Vampirellas have that on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in the 1980s, early 80s, this was a common practice for magazines when they
It's
sent
kind
them
of
back.
like your newsstand versus your direct edition thing going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
So, put these here. Did call, right? Yeah. So now I have to go get something for this one. Ugh. Round two. All right, I'm back. All right, now I got part of my grand finale here that I have. First, I'm going to show this again because somebody asked for which Erie I was talking about. Erie 25. Yes, yes, this is the Steranko that that are harder to come by. But again, this is the only one he ever did for Jim Warren, and I had it signed. It says to JD, but yep, this is the one I was talking about.
That's very nice.
Yeah, it was hard when I got this book. I was like, I couldn't believe. I showed you. I can't believe I found one, and I found it in the wild. I was like this, and I brought it to Steranko to sign. Um, but
Now, you're the Wrightson expert, so I got a question for you.
we got some rights in time. Let's do this because that's what the rest of the show will be writing by
This
me.
says Bernie Wrightson's first professional work,
But what year?
1968.
See, that's I agree. That's when he got paid first. But why does everybody say because his first comic book? That is so hard to find. Monsters and Heroes. That is like pretty probably one of the rarest Bernie Wrightson pieces you have, you can have.
He didn't do the cover though.
No,
It's
no, no.
inside.
It's inside, right. I do have his early one of his rarest covers, but before I get into that, I'll show this one here. We're doing some Bernie time. Great book, TJ. That was awesome. That's ridiculous.
Now, you want to see some really rare ones?
Yeah, well, let's keep going with the rights and stuff. Yeah,
Well, I
but
don't have Wrightson rare ones, but I got this one. This is creepy number 2. Rosetta cover.
hang on. No, let me go back to you. Sorry. Oh, yep, creepy too. Yep.
Yep, that's a Frazetta cover, and this is a very hard one to find in high grade. Also, is a low print. And this is one of the rarer famous monsters of Finland, the Godzilla.
Ah, there it is.
Number 114.
I think I had the King Kong one.
This is a very low print one.
Yeah. That's with Rodan in the background.
Yes. This is a Ken Kelly cover. That was one of my first expensive magazines I bought.
Yeah.
Back in the day. And this is one of the rarer Vampirellas. This is number 3. And also very low print.
Is that Frazetta as well?
No, this one is Larry Todd and Vaughn Bode.
Okay.
Bodie, but
Nice. Because I don't see that one that much ever, because usually it goes literally from the first one to get to like where I start like 9, 10, 11 when Frazetta starts doing them,
And probably the rarest magazine I own. This thing is a ghost and a half. It was put out by Atlas Seaboard. It's Gothic Romances.
Oh, very pulpy. I love that.
Yeah. This is a very, very, very rare book in any grade.
Wow.
It is a ghost.
Nice. I'm going to show my ghost in a little bit, but look at this. Oh, sorry, TJ. Got to keep doing this. All right, so this is Erie 68. Good cover. TJ, what do you think of this cover? I want to see that Gothic romance up there one more time.
I,
This
I, I
is
do. I own that. Yeah.
yeah, in the inside of this one, and I bought this book a couple of times. There's a colored story in here called The Muck Monster. And the Muck Monster is Bernie Wrightson's prequel to him doing Frankenstein. It's
Yes.
just, but I didn't like it was colored, so I found this from IDW. Put this out, and you can't thank him enough because now I have the entire story in its entirety, uncolored, printed.
That's
No,
nice.
yeah, I mean, way to go, IDW. They realized because this, honestly, I had the Frankenstein book, and this rivals it. It's that ridiculous. The monster itself this predates Swamp Thing. This predates Frankenstein. This is early on. This is not 1972. This is before that. This is like 68 or something, right? Look at this. Look at this monster he drew. Emotion on a monster's face. You know, this is Bernie at his finest. I still say this and Frankenstein are his best works, and then of course the Swamp Thing runs. Nothing against the Batmans or anything else. I like all of his works, but I'm going to show TJ. You have one more. Show that Gothic romance. I'm going to show my unicorn. Oh, sorry, I just like doing this, but that's one of my favorite things to do. Is collect those things. One of the times when I was collecting all those weird things is I found one in which it had a title to it, and it was called This Is Legend. And I looked at this cover, and I'm going to show this before we get to TJ's cover because TJ's got the right way to end any show. Look at this. This is a Bernie Wrightson from 1970 book called This Is Legend Number 1. There is no number 2. TJ, have you seen this? You've seen this, right? You've heard of it?
Very rare, very hard to find.
Very hard to find. Now, inside here, you've got Janillo in here, and I'm just going to show the centerfold. I mean, I'm just going to read off the names if you want to know who. This is, again, one of those typesetted ones from the 70s. This talks about, this is gratefully dedicated to Howdy Doody, Clarabelle, John Glenn, Bela Lugosi, Mary Shelley. You know, this is here, and it's by... Special thanks to Rick Heiser. This is from Bernie Wrightson, Mike Kaluta, 1970. And it's their own writings. They do the Headless Horseman, Ichabod Crane story. Bernie Wrightson, very rare. Because you don't see him do it. Then he does the Scroll Call. One of my favorite is they allow young artists to come in here, and Chanillo is one of those. But look at this Frank Bruner. I mean, are you kidding me? Thank you, Frank Bruner. You know, and this, you know, you've seen some of these things, Kenneth Smith's and just classic storylines. And this is rare. I am going to slab this. Now I can finally slab it. I showed it. I've read it. This is very, very cool, fun one to find. TJ?
This is a period of Vampirella from the late 70s and early 80s. Barbara Lee was the model. These were photo covers that she did. And
ooh la la.
Yep. And she does conventions sometimes. She's very, very nice.
Nice.
She's very still cool. With us. Another Frazetta cover that's kind of hard to find.
The National Lampoon cover. This is a fun one. Yep. Yeah. I think Wally Wood's in there too, is he?
I believe he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Jones too. Neil Adams.
Jones. We just showed Jeffrey Jones and Neil Adams. Yeah. Yep. You know, this is the best thing about the 70s is that all these guys collaborate. The collaboration of artists in the 70s in everything they did. Neil was always around with these guys. I mean, it was just a different time. Oh, you showed the Sheena.
This is a magazine called Alter Ego from the 80s, the 2000s, I mean. It's a kind of a fanzine, but they had some amazing covers in their run. And this is a Dave Stevens cover.
Nice. That's what I was showing before. These were like 70s fanzines that I was showing you. That's kind of what this number one is, the Legend number one. This was a Bernie project when he wanted to get into publishing and just didn't work out. And by the way, the back cover, I meant to show this, but I wanted to show it there. The sketch on the back, that if you got it, which is why they say double check it. There's sketches on the inside, and one of them is by a guy by the name of Fran Pizzetta.
Nice.
When you find these in your book, you get excited. So this is why you want to slab it, but you don't. You know.
Too bad you can't get a sketch like that at a convention, huh?
No, no. Yeah.
At Baltimore.
At Baltimore, yeah. I'll try. I've heard recently that Mike Kaluta might make a presence.
Nice.
Yeah, at a con coming up, and he does not do that often.
No. This is another hard to find nightmare, and this cover is by Boris.
Mm. Now you guys should, if you guys want to look up artists Frazetta style, who's still around, who's still with us, Boris he's still around, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still around. He's in his probably early 60s. Early 60s now. Yeah. The Dracula Lives cover. Is that Neil?
Yes.
That's Neil. Yep. I always say when he did Tomb of Dracula 1, and that's the same cover right there, just a better, just on steroids. You know, it's so good.
Yeah, his magazine covers for Marvel are amazing.
Oh, I love it. There's monsters.
Yeah, Dead Hands and Kung Fu. The whole works.
The ones he did for it, the Monsters Unlimited series.
Yep.
Those are really good. Yeah, drew women much better than people give him credit for. Neil's a great guy. I mean, I know he gets a bad rap and everything else. I like him. I mean, I've seen him so long at cons. It's crazy. Creepy 100th. That's nice.
Oh.
Now, TJ.
Yes.
There's one oversized book that is like one that I'm looking for. It's a treasury edition. It's not hard to find, but it's hard to find in the wild. And this is a non-eBay for me because I don't want to do it on eBay. It is a Wizard of Oz, the one that was done in the 70s. It's actually technically the first crossover of Marvel and DC. Mm-hmm. And the work inside is done by John Buscema and him drawing the Wizard of Oz. Now,
yes,
I know that book because I grew up when Wizard of Oz was on CBS when I was a kid, once a year. We had a black and white TV. My only version of it in color was the comic, was Treasury Edition. And I remember getting that book, and that was my Buscema introduction, not to mention Silver Surfer 4, and when I realized it was the same artist. I have been to cons going for a while. It's the one that I never see anymore at cons. I can find 50 of the Star Wars ones, which used to be the hard one that everybody wanted to get with those Star Wars ones, because technically, I guess the first appearance of like the Emperors in those and everything else was actually in Treasuries first, because they showed his picture as a hologram in one way before Return of the Jedi. So, but
if I was going to collect Treasury editions, I'd be going for the Neil Adams covers first.
Nice.
They're amazing. But until they start slabbing them, not on the table.
Yep. Yeah, Comics Misexplained talked about that. Yeah. I mean, it's a treasure. I've seen it on eBay, and I could have bought it for $50, but how do you ship a Treasury edition? It's like
the same way you do original art.
Yeah, like this. It's a pain in the ass. You know, look, I'm 500 with you without you getting wounded when I ship you art. You know, I'm 1 for 2.
Yeah, ETA Nick did I think it was his channel like a year ago, did a video on unboxing that exact Treasury edition you're looking for.
You know, Mike, if you're watching, tell Nick. Yeah, we need to talk. I've always wanted that because I've looked for the original art for that, and I'm not going to tell everybody. Well, I might as well tell this group because this is a cool group of people in here. I got the museum original art, but it's not here yet. I couldn't keep it a secret anymore, TTJ. I traded away something for it, and I couldn't. I was so excited to get it. It's a Thor. It's coming, and it's got a Hercules on it, and an Armok, and a Jane Foster. So, which is very rare of that era because it's the first time you see her in a comic since 1970. So 4 years with no Jane Foster. Anyway.
Well, people have seen this before, but let's go on a nice.
Yeah, we have to go out on that.
Yeah.
And when you're collecting, there are grails in every category, whether it be original art, your personal grail, the ultimate grail, whether it be your comic book collection, they're there. When you're collecting oversized books, or what we like to call the oversized books, the magazines, the Warrens, the Curtis especially, the Warrens, and especially for us, at least TJ and I, this right here is what it's always been about.
Hey, JD, did anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I'm asking. Does anybody want to know anything? I had a few questions. There was somebody said they bought that Vamp book at $6. They know about the book they're talking about. Congrats on the museum. Take the time. Yeah, I'll show it to you. Yeah, I'll get it here soon. I just shipped off my trade to him today, so I have that Erie. Nice. Didn't really get too many questions here. If anybody wants to know, we'll do. Stranger Things it's a evolving show with ideas from the audience too. Things that you can think outside the box. TJ and I have a few ideas for upcoming shows, but if you ever want to know anything about this stuff, TJ is absolutely a resource that is so valuable to me in my collecting of these magazines and stuff. Even when I knew what this was and I knew how hard it was to find my Bernie Wrightson cover, the Headless Horseman cover, to tell him, I'm like, I think I found it and I'm going to buy it, but I have to buy a bunch of other fanzines with it. I ended up liking the fanzines too, So he was like, get it. And then there was a Tarzan that I've always been searching for too. I think you know which one I'm talking about, TJ. There's a Tarzan oversized book that's really hard to find, but the Vampirella is that's considered the action one of the Warren Publishing.
Yep. So. It's a nice Frazetta creation. Warren, Forrest Eckerman, and Warren, the publisher, and
Jim Warren,
and Frazetta designed this.
And people don't give Jim Warren a lot of credit. He was a cheap son of a bitch and notoriously cheap, but I think every publisher was. But this is from everybody who's ever worked from that I've ever spoke to about Warren Publishing and how did it work with them. The thing that people don't give Jim, that only artists and creators give Jim Warren credit for, is the freedom to do what they wanted to do and creative control of their own work the rest of their lives. I mean, that was one thing where Jim said, yep, you can have it. I just want to borrow it. I just want to borrow it so I could sell books, but you keep it. And that's one of the tough ones right there.
Yeah. So. Kind of like Image Comics before Image Comics was around. Yeah.
Yep, that's a great way to do it. Yeah. The first creator-owned technically wasn't Image Comics or Jim Warren Publishing. It would be L.B. Cole. Yep. And he was the same way. You create what you want, but they didn't really create any memorable characters and those crazy books. He mostly did all the work anyway for his own publishing company. So
yes.
So I guess you're self-titled, self-published, but you only got you working there. But yeah. So this is what we do here. So on our next episode of Stranger Things, you're going to get a heads up what we're going to do. A lot of people talk about want to know more about our original art. We did an episode on original art with Comic Books NYC. I think we did.
Yes.
We had Kavi on, and it was a great episode where we showed some original art, and some of us have expanded our original art collection. At least I have. I got some Doctor Stranges too. So, but I'm just getting rid of some books that people are going crazy for that I've had way too long, and enjoy them. Anyway, that's about it. So, thank you all for enjoying us. Do you have any Slab Voodoo tales?
Not yet. I have a lot of raw that slab worthy, but I don't have them done yet.
Nice. Oh, weird tale. I think we showed a few weird ones. I have just a few savage tales,
Yeah.
but that's where you get the Conan and you get
Yeah, Eerie
Keizo.
Publications, not Eerie Magazine, but Eerie Publications. I
Mhm.
have a lot of raw stuff from them that's in really good condition that will eventually get slammed.
Where do you where do you buy yours? I go to the CGC website and deal with a guy, Robert, on there who does a
A
lot of
lot
the
of
review.
my Skywald stuff and my Eerie Publication stuff, like Voodoo Tales and uh, Weird Tales and stuff, were a warehouse find from New Jersey probably about 13 years ago. And they
Mm.
were all raw, this not bagged or boarded, just they just shipped them out. And um, some of them were in crappy condition. Some of them had some distributor ink that was just covering the cover in blue. But some of them were in excellent condition. Like that Scream I showed you, the
Yeah.
9.6, the highest graded copy, came from that warehouse find.
So it's like a hidden pedigree that we didn't know about. 'Cause if it's an attack
No,
collection,
no, warehouses don't count as pedigrees.
that's true. Except if it was a file in Harvey, for some reason those Harveys. Um, but yeah, another cool question, TJ, is uh, defects on these. Why these tend to? It's so much harder to get a 9.8 in this a book of the same era, and I think people don't take these books for granted that a lot of these haven't been treated with any care
Oh no,
ever.
everyone in the day. You couldn't give these
Yeah.
away back in the 70s. I mean, no one
No.
the there is at all.
Mm.
You still there?
Yeah, I think I am. I think I'm having.
Okay.
I think I'm back now. Yeah, I was going
But
to. Sorry about that.
they
Yeah, I
didn't
heard
become
you, but I could hear you. But
yeah, they really didn't start being really, really popular until CGC started grading them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would say that I used to see them in cardboard boxes underneath racks. That you'd go see a bunch of long boxes up there with everything bagged and board all nice, and you go and look it through, and you're going through looking for your strange tales, your early strange. At least me, I was going through some strange tales of Thor's or whatever, and then underneath there was a cardboard box, and all these magazines were there. No bags, no boards, piled up on each other, bent into each other, and you buy them, and they were like five, $1 a piece, 50 cents a piece.
Yeah.
And I would buy a ton and just stack them up like this, and and then like Conan's was. I was buying Conan's for nothing,
Yeah.
Now I think it's hysterical,
Yeah.
but
But
and then of course TJ taught me the wonderful world of condition, and like Cull and the Barbarians, like you have all three of them in 9.8s. These are really unbelievably good books. They're so
yeah,
good.
there's a lot of great art and great stories that rivals what was being put on regular size comics at the time. And the art was actually better.
Yeah, and they all enjoyed it better. John Buscema classically wrote his favorite works he did was when he started doing the Savage Sword of Conan, and his heart was in it. He was tired of doing superheroes, and it made sense for some of these guys. And then you had all these collaborations. Jim Shooter, you have to understand, ran Curtis for such a long time before he went over to do the Secret Wars and everything else that happened in the comics. We had Jim Shooter. I mean, Jim Shooter was doing Curtis forever, and he was cutting his teeth on this, getting the best he could. So
Well, I'm going to have to wrap this up
yeah,
because
we're wrapping it up.
yeah,
So
I'm old.
have a good one, everybody. Thanks again.
Thank you.